ahead and begin our conversation. Thank you
Sure.
again for taking some time this afternoon to share out about some resources from Catholic Charities. It's really appreciated.
Great. I appreciate this opportunity because it is different times, but given the times, we've been able to communicate differently and learn a lot about what's going on in our community, our country, the people that we love, and now we're doing meetings like this that can actually help us answer questions without having to call. I mean, like technically, if you had to call our agency, who would you talk to? Right away here, you got like an information session that can maybe answer questions without even having to ask the questions. So I wanted to first start off, and if you don't mind me saying this, it's just so important to know that what we do at Catholic Charities is all mission-based. We are part of the Catholic Church. We are the charity arm, and we're under the Diocese of Youngstown. A lot of people don't realize that. They think that we're from the Diocese of Cleveland, but we're actually part of the Diocese of Youngstown. And everything we do is all for the good of for our community, for our church, and we represent the church. So when we're working with those that are most vulnerable, it's because we're doing what the church calls us to do. And it's important that you know that right up front. Our mission statement's really important to us. With every strong, good organization, there's a strong mission statement, and that is to provide service to people in need, to advocate for justice in social structures, and to call the entire church and other people of goodwill to do the same. Mm-hmm. So,
awesome. That's a great way to start it off. And what are some of those kind of signature programs that Catholic Charities here in the county provides? And a really basic question too: where are you guys actually even located?
Well, first, we're in Ashtabula County. I want to make it really, and we serve all of Ashtabula County. We're located all of Ashtabula County. We are the largest geographically, as we all know. So we serve the 800 square miles that our county provides us. So every corner, every side, north, south, east, west. And we're located right in Ashtabula City, 4200 Park Avenue, on the 3rd floor of the First Commonwealth Bank. It used to be the First Merit Bank. So, I was going to say, at the same time, our hours are between 8:30 to 5 p.m. And right now, due to the COVID structures of policy and practice, we are open to the public, but over the phone or virtually. So there's no walk-ins. We typically would be a walk-in agency. So we have to change a little bit of what we're doing right now for this time being.
Right. So just to keep everyone safe. That makes a lot of sense.
Health and safety is really important. In fact, it's a high priority that not only our clients are safe, but also our staff. And so we can continue to do the good work that we do with our programs. I could share more about our programs right now if you like.
Yeah, that'd be great. Why would folks call in? What are some of the needs that you guys help address?
So a lot of times when we think about Catholic Charities, the question would be is who can come to our agency? And I always kind of throw out a little bit of something unique about why we do what we do. But Catholic in Latin means universal. So when you think about that, that means all are welcome. So if there's someone in need, and maybe it's not necessarily a need, maybe it's about giving, or maybe it's about being a part of something such as volunteering or making a difference in our community or learning about the culture of our community, that's where universal comes from. So if someone is looking to see what services we provide, sometimes it's the person calling up for another neighbor. Or it could be someone calling up because, I'm so sorry, I'm always busy, so with stuff going on. And I apologize for that.
One, for example, we were on with Casey Heron last week, and 211 refers a good number of folks to you all.
Yes, and we work very closely with 2-in-1. In fact, the one thing that's really, when we talk about being universal, it's also the collaboratives that we're working together in, and community action. 2-in-1 is one of them. What's really great is that we can communicate to them what we're doing, what services we provide, but at the same time, they also call us when there's someone in need, and providing them the opportunity to provide that information to their callers as well. I'm proud to say that our county works so well together. When you think about all the resources we have, if we didn't all work together, then we wouldn't be making a difference. We're making a difference. Probably as we speak, probably one of our caseworkers is talking to another agency, advocating, or where they're all working together to help someone's situation. It's called the helping process. Like some of the programs that you were wondering about, I kind of say it's in three folds. We have our basic needs assistance, and then we also have our educational programs, and then we also have our protective service programs. So with all of those all together, we have a little bit, almost up to 25 different types of services.
Wow.
Between the three areas of need. Just to kind of touch lightly on all of them, because you can go for a whole hour on just one topic, just so you know.
It's a good problem to have.
Yes, it is a good problem to have. And you know, and the neat thing about it is that our agency is designed for our county. It's not what another Catholic Charities does at another county. Our Catholic Charities is designed strictly for our county, and we try to make sure that our programs fit those needs that are needed in our community. And you know, along with that is why we're doing it as an agency. We're not trying to duplicate what other agencies are doing. We all have our niches. But to kind of give you an idea, basic needs is pretty much a lot of the areas that people know us for, and basic needs is like housing, helping those that are homeless or at risk of homelessness, someone that might be in need of, let's say, diapers, formula, connecting with food pantries, or even helping out with special wraparound services that involves food. We also provide prescription assistance. So those are some of our signature areas. But alongside of that is also working with those that are facing foreclosure with their homes. We have foreclosure counseling, but at also the same time, we also help with pre-purchase counseling. So those are areas they're all about self-sufficiency, and you know, working with households, looking at their budget, looking at wants and needs, and helping them achieve their goals is really important to all of those areas that I mentioned. And, you know, it's not always one and done. When someone comes to us regarding utilities, in fact, that's another area, but sometimes the utility is a symptom to a greater issue. And that's why it's really good to do the whole big picture and looking at, you know, do we need to look at your budget closer? Do we need to work with you month to month so we can help you out with your hardship or your situation? Because things do happen. Our county, although we were so fruitful with so many wonderful things to do and people, sometimes we have hardships, and those hardships could be that we're one paycheck away from not paying our mortgage or our rent, and we understand that.
Even, you know, during the crisis, I know some of the statistics said that the average American only has about $400 or so in their bank account, if that. So you really are one paycheck, you know, away, which is a very scary thing to think about for our population.
Yes.
You know, housing assistance, heating assistance. What type of, you know, requirements are in play with those? You know, why would someone go to you all versus a different agency, for example?
Well, the one thing is that when we are talking to individuals, we don't say, don't come because you're over income or under income. We really want to look at what's going on, because the income sometimes is insignificant to the problem. Sometimes it's the loss of income, where if someone had income and then they lost income, but they're trying to bring back income, if income's going to be a barrier to providing someone the path towards self-sufficiency, we're not doing our job. So we're not asking for people's incomes when they come into our agency or call. We might be using that as a tool. There are, though, some grants and some programs out there that might be income-based, and may have, they may look at a household's percentage of income with the federal guidelines, but it all depends on what the situation is. We do a lot of referrals out to community action for the PIP or HEAP or emergency assistance program, so that has guidelines, but we also know that sometimes we might be able to help out with making those transactions. Sometimes there's copays, there's all sorts of stuff that happens where our agencies are there to kind of work together to help with that household. So to answer your question, income it all depends on what the scenario is, especially when we're talking about basic needs.
Right, right. So you touched on kind of some of the basic needs of, food assistance, diapers. I can imagine for families, especially who are in need right now, or just in general, what some of those expenses would be. Housing assistance, heating assistance. What other kind of educational programs maybe do you guys provide? I know you do quite a bit with financial literacy too.
Yes, and I was going to say that's the next piece. I mean, financial literacy kind of goes hand in hand with basic needs. We are generally known to doing groups. Right now we're not. I'm hoping that we'll be able to do our first Zoom financial literacy workshop and be able to also, make that a little bit more open to the public, because, it could be an opportunity where people would like some information on basic needs, understanding how to do, get their credit report, to understanding why they might have more debt, understanding debt, credit debt. So hopefully we can get to that point soon. Another area of education are classes that we have in groups, and I'm proud to say that we're working in more towards a virtual model. One of our classes is a 16-week session called Getting Ahead, and we're actually in our second week of doing this class, and it's the first time we've done it. We're doing it through Zoom. It's been a good start. So Getting Ahead is another area where it's helping. It's not even helping, but it's gathering people of the community wanting to build, not only just working on understanding resources in the community, but also building not just self-esteem, but also getting the goals in life put in place to move forward. So it never ends, the program. So we're in session there. We also have a parenting class called Opening Doors, and it's for parents who have children between the ages of 0 and 5. And that we actually have our next class, which will be a Zoom class, and it's 10 sessions. And we're hoping to get that started in July. We also have another area, it's school-based, now that the school season is over, but we're also in the 5 out of the 7 school systems doing the Responsible Social Values program. So that's our education area. So it's very diverse, but it's all about strengthening families when it comes down to it. And you don't have to have an income, but I mean, there's no income guidelines for any of this, and it's free. So, yeah. So there's also the one-on-one financial literacy I wanted to bring up. If anybody wanted to sit down, we have 2 HUD certified counselors at our agency that are equipped to sit down and talk about, confidentially, of course, someone's budget. And, a lot of times people want to buy a home, or they wouldn't be able to rent on their own. And those are the discussions, if you can get ahead of it and come in and meet with one of our caseworkers, you're giving yourself an opportunity to really look at your financial portfolio.
How many caseworkers do you guys have? Because that's quite all the different programs that you talked about and different things. That's a lot of work being done.
You said how many caseworkers? We actually have about 5, and they all have different different areas where they work on. So we have people that are dedicated to working with the homeless. We have those that are working dedicated to basic needs. And then we have those that are working just face-to-face regarding budgeting and I will say we have one caseworker for like financial literacy, but that kind of goes along with foreclosure issues and also pre-purchase. So they kind of all wrap around with that one particular caseworker. And Bill Nemi provides that type of assistance, so he's always available for calls.
What would you say is probably your most used service or most popular program that you all provide to the community here?
Well, let me tell you the other pillar. Let me tell you about the other one, because then you're going to see that you're going to see across the board, they're all eh, they're all popular. um, but our protective service program involves our representative payship program, where we serve those that are not able to manage their Social Security benefit. So we're the fiduciaries of their monthly income, and we ensure that their rent or their mortgage, all of their basic needs are paid safely. Like I said, it's a trust account, and we make sure that our clients have a roof over their head, and that all their basic needs are met. And then also, if there's a need for like expenses or like just discretionary funds, we can provide that for them with their own money. And this is probably one of the biggest homeless prevention programs that we have at our agency. And we serve over 300 clients in Ashtabula County for that program alone. I was going to say that's probably the most popular program, because when we're talking about seeing people, we work with our payees and talk about their budget and trying to see what we can do to make sure that they're secure, their housing is secured, and also meeting their goals too. And then we also have our guardianship program, which is probably our most restricted program, but we work closely with the Ashtabula County Probate Court to help those that are considered indigent, or they are not able to make decisions for themselves. This is not decided by our agency, but there's a process where the court actually deems the person incompetent. But really, it's not about deeming somebody incompetent. It's just making sure that this person who does not have a family or appropriate family has someone making appropriate medical and personal decisions for those individuals. And many of those individuals are in nursing homes. Some of them are outside in the community. And we have volunteer guardians, volunteers from the community who are guardians to these individuals, as well as some staff individuals. So I guess it depends on the person who thinks that it's the most popular. Of course, basic needs, it comes in waves, but I look at that as a blessing that we have all of our, anybody that walks through our doors, that they come. We welcome anybody. I always question about those that are worried about coming to our agency due to confidentiality. I believe that if you have any questions, this is the way to start a conversation. We might not be able to assist depending on your need, but we might have the tools to refer you to the right person or the right organization. And that's the best thing about when I say collaborating with people. That's what we do best. And I was going to say, and that's what our county does great. We all work together, and that's necessary in order to help with our community and their needs. Right now, it's very challenging, only because we're people.
Right.
We look to see people, and we can't see people right now. But like I said, through the virtual contact, I think that's helping. But all of our programs really have always involved us having contact in person with our clients. So it's different times. I love to see it evolve back to our past normal, but we know that might take time, and we're looking completely strictly over the health and safety. It's a public safety issue right now, and we understand that.
Well, what have been, have you seen any spikes in terms of needs that people have reached out to for your agency, or different resources that they've been requesting over the past couple of months?
Well, at the beginning, I'm going to say we found an uptick on the need for diapers and formula. Because of you could say the traffic in the supermarkets and the pharmacies. So we were kind of like doing a drive-by carry-out, which was, we were happy that we could help, because not in all cases places were open. We remained open, even though we have staggered staff. We were able to still be available and provide those resources. There's a little bit of a lull right now, but we're seeing we're planning and preparing for the moratoriums to be lifted on the utilities as well as rentals and mortgage. So those are the areas that, you know, we're saying, how can we best serve someone in Williamsfield? How can we best serve someone in Jefferson or in Ashtabula City? What is that going to look like? Because it's technically an emergency. So our agency so used to being, or the community's used to us being in a walk-in kind of position. How do we make ourselves a walk-in virtually or walk-in over the phone? So we're going to have some challenges there, but every call is important. So we're
You know, to give you a great example, last week we got a call here to our office unrelated to the specific issue, but the person had mentioned that they were laid off recently. They weren't able to get their unemployment benefits yet, and they were asking for what resources we knew of. So of course, you know, referred them to 211 and to you all for any assistance. But let's say that person called up and said, "Hey, I just was laid off. Here are my needs." Could you quickly kind of walk us through what that would look like? Mm-hmm.
Well, the first thing is each case is unique. We look at anybody that comes in. We're not going to say you're the same as this person. We're going to want to find some time to sit down and look at your whole situation. So if they're in a layoff situation, we're going to look at where they're at financially. And a lot of the times it could be because they're at risk. Many people might say, you know, I wasn't able to pay my rent, and I'm afraid that these things are going to happen to me, and then we're going to walk them through the process. It's not an overnight fix. So I would say anybody walking or calling our agency, I would say expect to see that we're working and focusing in on you, on what's going on with you, not what we've done with others. We're going to look at your situation as a unique situation, and we're going to see if there's resources that we can start with immediate, you know, helping. But there might be some things that we have to work on together as a team in tandem to help get you back to where you want to be. And that might be us connecting with other resources in the community. I mean, it's not uncommon for us to call Country Neighbor and say, hey, we want to call you up regarding this household. They're with us right now, and we know that you provide these services. Or it might be us calling Conneaut Human Resource Center and making sure that they're you know, connected with some services that are at, you know, because they live in Conneaut. Just doing, like, making sure all resources are there. It's all about educating. It's not about telling. It's about, you know, these are choices that you have. You know, we've seen people actually lift themselves out of their situation really quick. And then sometimes when they thought that they knew what the initial need was, and then we ended up unveiling, hey, did you look at this? Or how are you doing on your rent? Or it might be, do you have any payday loans? You know, there could be things that are barriers to getting them towards self-sufficiency. So just putting a one-time fix might not be the case. So we're looking at we're looking at wraparound services. So it's not going to just be us. It's going to be looking at, you know, we might be connecting someone with benefits through the Department of Job and Family Services. Work closely with them. You know, I mean, it's all about what that particular need is. Sometimes it's just talking to the person and listening, and then helping them with their plan.
Right.
And then we give them the tools. So I would probably suggest anybody to think that if they call here, it's about trying to work on their plan. And then some of our programs may fit really well. And then if it's not, it might be that we have to refer them to another program that fits their current need, or it's a combination. So
that's the beautiful thing of a small town. Everyone
yeah.
works together. And I've got just a couple more questions left, but if anyone watching has questions for Jill, feel free to type those in the chat, and I'll be able to answer those and share those with Jill for you. And so one of the first ways that we worked together was actually for the homeless count here.
Yes.
And, you know, I know a lot of folks always have questions about with us being a small town, more of a rural area. Well, there's no homeless folks here in Ashtabula County. And I think you know much better than that. And I've been able to help folks. Can you share a little bit more about, you know, what resources and how Catholic Charities is there for our homeless population?
Sure. I think the homeless population, I almost want to change the name. because I feel like it's individuals that had barriers that put them in a situation where they found themselves not living in a place meant for habitation, and or they have barriers that might prevent them from finding the home that they want to be in. When I think about the people we serve that are homeless, and that's those living in a place not meant for habitation, in their car, it could be an abandoned building. Along with that, when you get to that point, there's variables to that, and I always try to share with the community that we can't just say that that person wanted to put themselves there. There's choices. There might be angles and things that they're trying to work on, and sometimes it's not easy to get themselves out of their situation. There might be income issues. There may be family issues. It may be that you don't know anybody, and you can't find a place to live. Housing issues is an issue. Finding a place to live can be very challenging in Ashtabula County that's safe and affordable. There could be some mental health or substance use disorders that could impede in finding or working on that goal of stable housing, and supports and friend network that can really help guide a person. Our hope is that we could rapidly house individuals and families and provide them resources, even though maybe it might not be a quick turnaround. Our hopes are that we're guiding them, because ultimately it's going to be the person's plan on what they want. We can't tell people where to live. We're not going to do that, but we also want to make sure that they have the tools to see that they can afford where they live, that help them with finding, in some cases, employment that's going to help support how they live. But I find it very challenging at times, because you don't want to see someone in that situation, and a lot of times it's a discussion you have first, and that's building that form of trust, and then going forward with the goals, and seeing how we can provide services that fit their goals. So it's I don't know, I was going to say, for many years I've met individuals who've been in homeless situations, and they've prevailed, they've persevered, they're resilient, and you know what? They don't have to thank us, they have to thank themselves for being so strong and being focused, because it's not easy to be working with others that they don't know yet, to trust them, to help them towards having their own housing, or to have stability in their lives. So we take pride in that. It's important that we think about those things, the respect for a person, not judging, and letting that person take in all the information you provide them, and then help them make those choices. And I'm not going to say it's easy, and I'm not going to say it's successful every time, but I know I've worked with individuals that maybe they were in this situation for a very long time for many different reasons, and then the day came where we were able to have an honest conversation together and say, okay, let's do this, let's see how we can do it. So it can happen. It's not an overnight fix.
Right. Well, it seems like, from our conversation, everything that you all do at Catholic Charities isn't just a quick fix. It's much more focused on the whole person.
Correct.
Awesome to hear, because that's really at the root of any type of concern or, need a resource that people may come to you guys for.
And I was going to say the person-centered approach is really the best way of putting it.
Yeah.
Again, then saying case by case. But when we are person-centered, then we're focusing on that person's need, and we're not trying to compare it to someone else. The results are better that way. And results, what I mean by that is that person feels that they're being treated with dignity and respect. And that's the most important piece of it all.
Well, wonderful. Well, thank you again so much for taking the time this afternoon to speak with me and share about some of the resources. We'll be uploading this video up on YouTube and our Auditor website, and on Facebook with your all's website and contact information. So hopefully people will reach out and ask questions and learn more about your services.
Thank you. And I appreciate this opportunity. This is great. This is fun.
it's just fun just to catch up with people. Really, I think that's the base of it is,
Yeah.
we haven't seen each other for so long, folks, and we're all used to being at different events and things together. And, we miss people, right?
Yes, it's odd that we're not in big rooms,
Yeah.
shaking hands and just hanging out or just talking about what's going on. And now we're in this virtual capsule, and we have to trust it. And I believe this is the new culture of being with people right now. And whatever we can do to help everyone feel comfortable in this way, hopefully it's very temporary, that we'll be resilient and be able to move forward to a safe and healthy life in the near future. So thank you.
Folks just need to reach out to you and start that conversation. Nice. Well, thank you so much, Jill. Glad you're doing well. And
Thank you.
I'll probably virtually see you at some point.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you. Oh, our phone number is 440-992-2121. And I'll repeat that again, 440-992-2121. And our email, if you would like to email us, it's info@doyccac.org. So.
doyccac.org.
Correct.
Okay. Wonderful.
All right.
Thank you so much, Jill. Have a good
All
week.
right. Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.